You've done it. We've all done it. It's 3 in the morning. You're heating up something you probably shouldn't be eating. You press start. The microwave begins its countdown. And then your finger hovers over the stop button. But because you're trying to cancel it at exactly 1 second, before the beep, before the sound. But here's the thing. Your microwave has a silent mode. It's been there the entire time. You just didn't know how to activate it. And that's not the only hidden function on this panel. There's a whole second layer to every button you've been ignoring for years. By the end of this video, you will never look at your microwave the same way. Look at your microwave right now. Count the buttons. Go on, I'll wait. Most microwaves have between 20 and 35 buttons. Do you know what more than 4 of them actually do? Be honest. There's a running joke on the internet that a microwave really only needs 2 buttons. Add 30 seconds and stop. And to be honest, that's how most of us use it. But those other 28 buttons? They're not there by accident. Every single one was debated in a design meeting. Engineers fought over them, and most of them have a second function. A hidden mode that the manual technically mentions on page 47. In 6-point font, in a language you don't speak. So let's go through the best ones, the ones that actually change how you use this machine. Let's start with the one that prompted this entire video, the silent mode. Almost every microwave manufactured in the last 15 years has a mute function. The problem? Every brand hides it differently. There is no universal mute button. Instead, it's hidden behind a secret key combination, like a cheat code in a video game. Here's how it usually works. On most microwaves, you press and hold a specific number, usually 1, 0, or 2, for 3 to 5 seconds. Not while it's cooking, just from the clock screen. Hold it down, wait, and if you hear a single beep, congratulations, you just silenced your microwave forever, or until you unplug it. On some models, it's the number 8. On others, you press the settings or sound button. On Sharp microwaves, you press and hold the 8 key. On KitchenAid, it's buried in a settings menu. On GE models, you hold the 0 button. If you're not sure which one yours uses, Google your microwave model number plus mute. It's almost certainly there. Now, here's the design question. Why hide this? Why not just put a mute button on the panel? And the answer is kinda brilliant, actually. Microwave manufacturers know that most people will never read the manual. The people who do want silent mode, parents with sleeping babies, night shift workers, apartment dwellers with thin walls, they're motivated enough to look it up. Everyone else will never notice it's there. It's a feature designed specifically for the people who need it most, hidden in a way that doesn't clutter the panel for everyone else. That's not an accident. That's intentional product design. All right, here's one that has confused people for decades. On most microwaves, pressing a single number, like 1 through 6, instantly starts the microwave for that many minutes. Press 2, 2 minutes of full power. Press 5, 5 minutes. But try pressing 7. Nothing. 8. Nothing. 9. Nothing. So why are those buttons even there? Are they decorative? A prank by microwave engineers? No, the answer is the power level button. The one you've definitely ignored. Press power level, then press 7, and your microwave now runs at 70% power. Press 5, it's 50%. Press 3, it's 30%. The numbers 7 through 0 are reserved as power settings, not cook times. Now this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Because 70% power doesn't mean the microwave is shooting weaker microwaves at your food. That's not how the magnetron works. A microwave's magnetron is either on at full blast or it's off. There is no dimmer switch. What power level 7 actually means is the magnetron cycles on and off. Over a 30-second period, it's blasting at full power for 21 seconds, then completely off for 9 seconds. This on-off cycle gives the heat time to distribute through the food. This matters more than you think. If you're melting butter, full power will scorch the edges while the center stays cold. 30% power lets the heat spread evenly. If you're defrosting meat, 20 to 30% power prevents those cooked brown spots on the outside while the inside is still frozen. If you're reheating something dense like lasagna, 50 to 70% power heats it all the way through without turning the edges into rubber. The power level buttons aren't useless. We just never learned what they did. The popcorn button has a reputation. Some people swear by it. Others say it burns everything. And the reason both groups are right comes down to a tiny sensor hidden inside your microwave that you've never seen. Cheap microwaves use a simple timer for the popcorn button. They guess, usually around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is why some people get perfect popcorn and others get a smoking bag. Different brands, different wattages, different results. But mid-range and high-end microwaves, they have something called a humidity sensor. It's a tiny electronic nose built into the exhaust vent of the microwave. Here's how it works. As popcorn kernels pop, they release steam. A lot of steam. The humidity sensor detects the sudden spike in moisture in the air. Once it senses that burst of steam, which means most of the kernels have popped, it shuts off the microwave. It doesn't matter if it took 1 minute and 45 seconds or 3 minutes. The sensor is reacting to the food, not a predetermined time. This is the same sensor that powers the sensor cook, sensor reheat, and auto defrost buttons. All of them use moisture detection to figure out when your food is actually done, rather than guessing based on a timer. The reason the popcorn button sometimes burns your popcorn isn't because the sensor failed. It's because you put the bag in the wrong spot. If the steam vent's away from the sensor, like if the bag is pushed to the far corner, the sensor never detects the burst. The microwave keeps going, and you get smoke. Pro tip: center the bag. Always. 2 more quick tips, because they're genuinely useful. First, the child lock. If you have kids or a cat that walks across the counter, you need to know this. Hold the stop or cancel button for 3 to 5 seconds. On most models, a small lock icon appears. The entire panel is now disabled. To unlock it, hold the same button again. On other brands, it's more elaborate. Sharp uses a code. Press 7, 9, then hold 0 for 3 seconds. It's like entering the Konami code. Second, that Add 30 seconds button that everyone actually uses, there's a reason it exists as a dedicated button instead of being buried in a menu. Microwave designers know that most people ignore the entire panel. They studied this, and the plus 30 seconds button was their concession, a single button that satisfies the most common use case. I just need to heat this up a bit more. It's the most used button on the entire panel, and it exists because the designers knew their interface had failed. They built an escape hatch from their own complexity. So why are microwaves like this? Why bury useful features behind secret button combinations and cryptic icons? The answer is something called feature creep. Here's what happened. Microwaves were invented in 1945. For the first 30 years, they had dials. 2 dials, one for power, one for time. Simple. Everyone understood them. Then, in the 1980s, digital displays arrived, and suddenly manufacturers could add buttons for practically nothing. Adding a popcorn button costs a fraction of a cent in manufacturing. Adding a baked potato button? Same cost. So microwave companies started competing on features. Who could list more buttons on the box? Our microwave has 35 one-touch settings. The result is a where the most useful features, mute, child lock, power levels, are hidden, and the most visible features, beverage, baked potato, frozen vegetable, are almost never used. The design team won arguments about what to add, but nobody won the argument about what to remove. Your microwave is not badly designed. It's over-designed. And now you know how to use the good parts. If you learned something from this, try the mute button right now. Pause the video. Hold 1 or 0 on your microwave for 5 seconds. See what happens. Then let me know in the comments which hidden feature you're going to actually start using. And if there's another everyday object you want me to expose the hidden logic behind, drop it in the comments. I read them. Stay curious.